Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Barnabas Sons of Thunder, episode number 2. As we go through life, we are constantly searching for significance and importance, meaning and purpose in everything that we do, and oftentimes we search for all of those things in our relationships. But the reality is, if we can't find those things in ourselves, we're never going to find them in relationship with anyone else. Join your host, J.E. Bundy, Rhett Ritchie, and special guest Nate Bundy as we discuss this. This is Barnabas. All right, everybody, hello, and welcome back to this episode of Barnabas Sons of Thunder.
Episode
number 2, moving right along. So we're glad you're tuning back in. As you can see, still on location.
Is it episode 2, really?
Yeah, this is episode 2. So we're back on location here in Colorado Springs and still at the National Conference on Youth Ministry. Week's going great.
Man, this is surprisingly enough. We've been here for 2 months now at this rate.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Someday soon, I hope they let us go home. So
Please.
But so anyways,
if you don't know Morse code.
Anyways, we are here, and one of the things I love about being here is we get to sit down with some of our friends and mentors and get to have some conversation with them. And today, that's what I was going to say. You stole it. Today, we are. I'm really glad that we don't just get to sit down with a friend. We get to sit down with my family. This is my cousin Nate Bundy.
Someone who I also consider as like a way kind of strange, not really connected to the family, older brother.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, same. But anyways, I'm really glad to have Nate here. We are cousins, so we've known each other our entire lives. And
how long is that?
It is 38 years for me.
36.
So I guess I've only known him for 36 years. But his whole life, most of my life. And so I'm really...
All of our remembered life.
That's right. Everything I remember has had Nate in it. And that's more true than I care to admit. But anyways, I'm really glad. One of my favorite things about what I get to do is that I get to work with Nate, and we get to do a lot of different things. So I'm really glad, Nate, that you're joining us today. So thanks for taking a little bit of time out of the conference. Yeah. So I know all about you, but you just keep your hands.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
You just keep your hands down here, and that's fine. Just act natural.
just act natural.
Just act natural. That's right. And so, and as you're acting natural, why don't you tell everyone? Let's let the audience get to know you a little bit. Where are you from? Where are you living right now? What does your life look like?
Cool. I live in Fort Worth, Texas. I've been there for about 2.5 years, and then before that, I was in Childress, Texas for 10 years. I've always Fort Worth. I lived in Lubbock for 6 years, and that's really kind of like a big small town. It's and even if it was bigger, the community that I was I only hung out with very few people.
Yeah.
So this is the first time in my life I've really ever felt like I was in a very urban area.
Yeah, moving out of the country into the big city.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
Grew up in Jacksboro, Texas.
There you go.
Home of the Hurt Burger. If you go through, if you're driving to Fort Worth or whatever, and you go through Jacksboro, you have to stop at Hurt Burger. It's the best burger that I've ever had in my life.
No free ads. Send us something to...
in the words of Rhett and Link, not a sponsor.
That's right.
Not a sponsor.
He is. He's not lying. Her burger is very good. It's almost as good as my burger.
So all right. So we keep going. Tell us about your family.
Been married to Kristen since May 8th, 2004.
Scariest person I know.
She can't be too big to people who don't know her, but
and the people who do.
and she keeps me in line. She is
The iron fist.
She's amazing. And then we have Jackson, Brooklyn, and Tatum. Jackson is 12, he'll be 13 in 2 months. And then Brooklyn 11 and Tatum 9.
Yeah. So, all beautiful, all wonderful.
So we want to do a little bit of a rap. I don't know why I keep calling it rapid fire, but we're going to ask you just some strange questions, kind of see how you think on the spot. I think when you have to think a little bit quicker, your true self comes out. And so here is my question. Do you think you possess the willpower to swim from Cuba to Florida?
How many miles is that?
Like 100.
I don't know.
I don't know either. There's no fact checking right now because we're just.
It's been done. I know it has been done.
I mean, I don't think that I think I would cramp and then drown and die.
Okay. Do you possess the willpower to beat JE in a race of long distance? Who just goes up first?
Yes, I think that there's a little bit more than willpower. I've got longer legs, and I used to run long distance.
This is no set distance. This is just who gives up first.
Just run until you drop. So even if you run,
It's like Stephen King's The Wall.
is it time or distance? Like if we just start running around the track, even if he gets 12 laps and I get 8 laps, but I keep going after he drops out.
Like, I mean, there's a difference between if someone has a gun to your head and says, you know, whoever stops, or I guess it wouldn't be a gun to your head because they do it with you, but
Yeah.
a gun on you and saying, whoever stops first, I'm going to shoot, you know, whatever. Or
I can run a long
or this is for pride, and I do think that my pride is I'm more stubborn than JE. I think I'd win.
Jay, your thoughts?
I don't know. I think out of all of the physical challenges that you could have offered, I think this is one of the best chances that I have. So I would feel good about my odds. I don't want to take that bet, but I feel good about my chances.
So, all right, good. So we see a little bit of you in that way.
Mm-hmm.
Next question is this: is there a food you will not eat?
Once. You
That I will
want
not eat. That I will not eat. Well,
I'm willing to say no, that you will not eat.
so like, is it
Like if someone dared you,
is it
to eat
safe?
you just
And
say
I'm not going to get sick.
it's actual food. It's not like I pick up a piece of garbage off the ground and say eat this. It's actual food, but
It might be very gross.
yeah.
I think that the stakes could be very low, even as little as a lot of people will laugh, and I think I would eat almost anything.
Yeah.
If you fear factored me, it'd be a no-brainer, not even close. I would demolish anything.
You would eat
Is there something you wanted to eat, Jay?
No, I think it's pretty similar to Nate. If I think someone's going to laugh, I'll eat it. And certainly if there's money on the line, there's nothing that's actual food. Like I'm not saying like put like radioactive toxic waste in front of me or poop. I'm not going to eat that. But if you put actual food in front of me that people eat, and even if it's disgusting, and
guano.
do people eat guano? That's bad food.
I don't know it. One.
I know.
I thought that's mascara.
Did you ever watch Ace Ventura 2? Nature.
No free ads.
Yeah.
Send us
Not a
some maybe.
sponsor.
I don't know why you keep quoting other people.
He's not
Copyright. We don't own that. We're putting that in our stuff.
He's not nearly old enough to watch Ace Ventura 2. So I know.
Yeah.
But
So I've been thinking. I have one last question. What would you tell? And I hope this goes funny because this could go very sad. What would you tell? One piece of advice you tell your younger self. And Jay, I want you to be thinking about this as
I have to
well.
answer this too. Okay.
Yeah, this is
If
the.
you can think of it first, you can answer.
I mean, if it's sad, let it out. But
Yeah. I think that I would tell my younger self.
How younger?
just younger.
My mind went to like junior high school, and I think what I would like to go and tell him is that the things that you are right now that make you feel like an outcast, later on those things are going to be the things that make you that help you build the strongest connections with people that really matter. And so that's not really advice, just more of encouragement. Like you're it gets better.
Yeah, well, obviously there's a lot of stuff like that for me too. That it gets better, you know, and you know, and stay who you are and all that kind of stuff. But like the most practical on a day, because you know I've worked through all that stuff now, you know, and I'm not struggling with it anymore. So the one thing that I think that like, man, this would help me today is I would tell myself, when your dad asks you if you want to help him fix something, you know, my dad is really handy with cars and small motors and you know, construction stuff, and I'm so tired of not knowing stuff, and YouTube can only take you so far sometimes. Especially when it comes to,
YouTube can take you pretty far.
but not when it comes to diagnostics. Like once I know what's wrong,
Yeah.
then I can look it up. But not in diagnostics. Not in I don't have an idea how to make this happen, and I'm constantly asking my dad, or I'm asking my wife's dad, Kristen's dad, Jeff Smith. So
Don't forget, Jeff Smith, send us you.
not a sponsor.
Oh my goodness. Copyright.
I'm gonna say it every time. Not a sponsor. They don't have not a sponsor copyright.
Just keep going.
Anyway, if I had paid attention, Dad would always say, "Hey, I'm changing the oil in the car. The lawnmower is broken. I'm fixing it. Hey, I'm doing this. You want to help?" And I was like,
I got video games.
and yeah, I know. And then sometimes he would make me help.
Yeah.
But then I would just kind of like I was not paying attention at all. Like I was like, I don't care what you tell me, Dad. I'm not going to pay attention. I'll hand you the screwdriver when you say hand me the screwdriver. I'm not going to pay attention.
I'll do it, but I'm not gonna like it.
I'm not going to learn anything from it.
I will purposefully ignore everything you say and just keep handing you stuff.
You would think that we're being sarcastic
No.
here, but that's really how it was.
I believe it.
I'd have paid attention more.
Yeah.
It helped me out more.
I think that's great advice. I wish that too, that I could go back and learn a lot of those things when I was younger, so that now I could actually do stuff. Because now being married and having to do stuff on my own, YouTube does help out a lot. But like I said, there's a lot of things that if I don't know what's wrong, there's no way for me to find out how to fix it. And then I got to pay someone. And it would be nice to have a little bit more knowledge of those things. So it's good.
And so I hope that's a little brief introduction to our friend Nate, but we want to dive into the topic for today. And it's this idea.
Well, and we kind of talked about it a little bit. Hey, yeah, we just mentioned Jeff Smith right there. we said send us you, and he sent us.
That's how this works on the other companies we promo.
That's the magic of the internet. So, but we can. I think kind of the question you asked about the running race kind of ties into what we're going to be talking today, because we're talking about our bodies, how we take care of it, health, things that we use our bodies for, and things like that. And so. It kind of, I think we've kind of already gotten into that discussion.
I think the topic's kind of like self-betterment.
Yeah.
So I think frequently, and there's so many different views, and some of the stuff we say may come across as, especially me, because I'm going to kind of talk about health and what I have to say. This may come across as, if he wanted to lose weight and I feel like I'm bigger than him, that means he thinks I'm fat or he thinks I'm whatever. And that's not where I'm coming from. So there was this point in my life, I was just unhappy. And so I was looking for things to do. And one of those was eat, which was crazy because this was the point in life where I was working out the absolute most. So I went and I started this workout thing, and immediately I dropped 10 pounds. I got about to 190 pounds. And from there, over the course of about 4 or 5 months, I went from 190 pounds to over 220 pounds. I just shot up. I felt sluggish. I felt lethargic. I felt lethargic. I just felt gross. And I got to this point where I felt so unhealthy, I decided to do something about it. And so this is a testament. I ate virtually nothing for about 3 months. I drank almost everything. And it was miserable, and it was not fun in that
You
moment.
say drink everything, like you're saying drink all of your calories.
Yes, so
not that you were just drinking everything.
No. So I went to smoothies, and that's the thing I just started doing over and over and over again. Every meal I had free, I was doing that. I was eating half a plate when I went out to eat with people, and then I think back at that time. And here's the thing: is we want you to be happy, but sometimes you have to grind a little bit to get there. Because in that moment, I was like, if I'm searching for happiness in this venture, what am I finding it in? Am I finding it in me actually losing weight?
Yeah. And
that actually became the farthest from it. When I found happiness at the end, it had nothing to do with the weight I lost.
Yeah, and I that's what I was going to make sure I mentioned in that too, because I think a lot of times, like, so we don't have like regular TV. We don't subscribe to cable or satellite or anything like that. We get all of our TV online, and so we don't watch a lot of commercials. And so this week, while we've been here at the hotel, me and my wife turned on the TV at the end of the day, just flipping through the channels, and I was amazed. Just watching the commercials. There's so many commercials out there about diet plans and exercise, and basically there's this whole market out there that is designed to tell you you're not good enough. There's something wrong with you, and we can fix it. And I was like, man, that's a scary message that everyone is hearing like 30 times every hour. You're not good enough. You're not good enough. You're not good
And
enough.
those are just the overt ones. That's not even taking into account the ones where it's just showing like here's what a happy family looks like, and every single one of them are, incredibly fit and attractive.
Yeah, they fit the mold
well-adjusted.
of what a healthy person looks like, and so that's one of the things that a healthy person, and that's one of the things that I think is so scary about that is this message that or the idea, because if someone wants to do something and wants to get in better shape, wants to do something for themselves, like I don't have a problem with that, but I think where a danger with that is what's the motivation. And I think a lot of times we start to say, well, my value will increase if I look a certain way. I will be a better person if I'm at a certain weight. I will be more important. I'll have more
accepted.
I'll be more accepted if I change something about myself.
So as I was saying, I got to a point, and I got to the point to where I had finally lost the weight I thought I was, and I look back at the journey, and I was mad that I wasn't finding happiness in the middle. But what did it, and it was more a mental thing for me, was the fact that I set my mind to do something and I did it. It was almost the same satisfaction of when you cut the grass and then you finish and you can look back and see your product. It was so satisfying.
Man, you know all about that, right?
I don't get satisfaction from that.
Oh, I do. I love that last strip where you're like, oh, look at this.
Last puzzle piece.
Last puzzle piece, yeah.
Conquering a video game.
There you go.
Conquering
There you go.
a long
I've only beat one video game my whole life.
Oh.
Seriously?
He only plays sports.
What a failure.
Yeah, I realize that. So, so when I did that, my whole journey, I thought the whole time was about making my body look something different in order to obtain some sort of happiness.
Obtain.
Obtain.
Abstain.
But
Abstain me from all happiness.
but the
I'm sorry.
yeah.
Go ahead.
But the whole point in going through that really was I achieved something.
Yeah.
I set my mind to something and I did it.
Yeah, and I think that's a powerful reinforcement. You know, whenever you're looking for trying to create or maintain positive behaviors in your life, moving in a direction that when we're talking about self-betterment, the idea of accomplishing a goal, I think is there's like a dopamine dump that just rushes over you and like I did something, and so I think that's a powerful motivator.
Yeah.
To get those things done for sure.
I mean, we think of our bodies a lot of times as something that's so precious because it is.
Mm-hmm.
We think of our bodies as a temple. We really do. That this is the place in which I produce my life from.
Mm-hmm.
This is the place in which I go out and be a part of. And I think there's something to be said, not necessarily about treating your physical body as a temple, but treating your emotional, your spiritual, your intellectual,
Your full self.
your full
Yeah.
self as a temple.
Yeah, absolutely. And not trying to shape your body into what everyone else has said. This is what health looks like, or this is what success looks like. Because that's ultimately what it is. And in our society, we've equated a certain level of physical fitness with success. And so an overweight person we perceive sometimes as less successful than an attractive person. And so it's become so
The way you said it, overweight or an attractive person.
Yeah.
You can be overweight and attractive.
Yeah, see, it's so ingrained in our culture that it's one or the other, and
Yes,
yeah.
either or.
And this is a question I have for Nathan, because I want to step away, because I don't want this episode to be focused on physical image. I want this to be about self-betterment. And so what's something you would say that you could do to better your mind? What is something that you can do?
Or my full self.
Or your full self, yes, I like that terminology. What's something you can do? Because, like I said, we always want to be giving you something, not just making you think about something and not come to a conclusion.
Yeah. So this is like, if y'all were to handpick one of the hardest topics for me to talk about, you could have picked this one.
You're welcome.
We did this on purpose.
Like, it's whenever it comes to like lifting weights and stuff like that. Like, here's the rub for me on bettering my physical self is there is literally nothing about getting physically fit that I enjoy. Literally nothing.
Yeah.
Like, because some people are like, oh, but you feel so, if you get up in the morning and you work, you do whatever, you feel so accomplished throughout the rest of the day. Or, like, oh man, it hurts, but whenever you're done, man, I just feel, like it's that lifter's high or that runner's high. I feel, I feel so good.
That's
And
what you're saying.
So here's what it is. I dread before I go.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I do not want to go do this. And then I go and work out or whatever, and I'm miserable the entire time there. And then after I'm done, I feel horrible. And then I get back to, it's just like, I don't feel good. And then if I'm past the soreness stage or whatever, I'm just like, oh man, I have to go do that again tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, I don't enjoy any of that. And so much.
Same.
And
What's funny is I almost enjoy all of that.
see, I hate it so much. Whenever at one point, me and my wife had a section of time where the kids were gonna be in school and we were gonna be able to start working out together.
Yeah.
And she was excited about, we're gonna go work out together. And she, within 1 week, said, we can't do this anymore, or I'm gonna hate you, Nate, because she likes to, like, when she runs, she likes to talk, and whenever she works out, she wants, and I'm miserable. Like, I don't want to be talking. I just want to be left in my misery.
Yeah.
And so she'd even do something like, "Oh man, that was a good," we were doing push-ups. She's like, "Good job, Nate." And I'm like, "Whatever." She's trying to encourage me, and I'm just like, "Just let me be miserable."
Yeah.
And the reason I'm talking about full self, the reason I come to that is because that is probably, whenever we look at full self, where I think I struggle the most is my physical
Well-being.
my physical well-being. I love food.
Yeah.
I love to eat. I love to cook. And I don't like doing any of that other kind of stuff. And so, whenever I look at, how do we be healthy over our full self, it is, I think it's like finding the motivation. Not motivation's not a good word. Finding contentment. No. Finding happiness, but not finding contentment.
Okay.
Like saying I'm happy where I am. There's a song that I really, really like, and one of the lyrics in it is, "I'm not where I want to be, but I'm not where I used to be."
Yeah.
And that is something that if you can apply that to any part of your full self, your mental health, your physical health, all those kinds of stuff. Saying, I may not be where I want to be, but I'm not where I used to be,
Yes.
and that motivates. Anytime, that's the mowing the grass thing. Is a sense of completion and saying, that feels good. Looking back and saying, man, that grass wasn't mowed before, and now it's, and I've just got this one last stripe to do.
And so as we wrap up, we Jay and I will both give you our kind of practical steps. What I think about when I think of treating your body well is, I think there's a temptation that treating your body well means you're finding happiness. I think that's the temptation, but the reality is, to go try to achieve something. And I don't want to put a label on that achievement because that achievement's something different for every party. That achievement can be whatever. That achievement can be, man, I'm gonna sit on this couch and I'm gonna beat this video game. I think that's a way to better ourselves. I think there's so many different other ways that we can do that. And so that's my advice, Jay.
Yeah, and I think too, just the idea of bettering yourself. Come back to the idea that your value is not placed in any part of your physical existence. It's not, your value isn't in how smart you are. It's not in how attractive you are. It's not in how pretty you are. It's not in any of those things. Your value is what are you using your body for? Like, this body, I view it as a tool. Like, we're building something. Are we building good things for people? Are we blessing people? Are we being a benefit to other people? Are we using our body to be selfish? Are we just pleasing ourselves and satisfying our own desires? Or are we going out and doing something to make this world a better place? And so whenever I think about bettering myself, that's what I think about, is how can I use this gift that I have to do better things?
Yeah, and so we thank you for tuning in. We appreciate the love and support you've shown us. We thank Nate so much for coming on.
Thank you so much, Nate, for coming.
Let us know in the comments what you think. We'd love to have a conversation. This has been Barnabas, episode number 2.
Episode 2.
See you next time.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Barnabas Sons of Thunder. We really hope that you found this episode entertaining and encouraging. We really do appreciate all of you who decided to tune in and spend a few minutes with us. If you'd like more, you can find us on YouTube, iTunes, and Spotify.